Game 2 between the Seattle Storm and the Las Vegas Aces is here, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The Aces have already set the tone with a Game 1 win, but Seattle isn't a team that goes away quietly. Can Jewell Loyd and the Storm adjust quickly enough to slow down A'ja Wilson and the defending champs? Today, we're breaking down the numbers, the matchups, and the scouting details you need to know before tip-off. If you love daily WNBA breakdowns and scouting-focused previews, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay locked in with Beyond the Box Score. The Las Vegas Aces took Game 1 of this series, holding serve on their home court and reminding everyone why they've been the standard in the WNBA for the last 2 seasons. But the Seattle Storm aren't just another team, they're a group built with versatility, scoring depth, and defensive length that makes them a legitimate threat to push this matchup beyond expectations. Game 2 now becomes pivotal. Can the Aces tighten their grip on the series, or will the Storm make adjustments and steal momentum heading back to Seattle? Let's break this game down from a scouting lens, looking at recent form, player matchups, statistical indicators, bench impact, development, and the broader context. Looking at the last 5 to 10 games leading into this series, both teams have approached the playoffs from very different angles. For the Aces, their last stretch of regular season games showcased their return to dominance after some midseason struggles. Their offensive rating climbed back into the league's top 2, driven by improved spacing and a healthier Chelsea Gray running the floor. Their defensive rating, which hovered around middle of the pack for stretches, began trending upward as A'ja Wilson anchored the paint more aggressively. In their last 10 games before Game 1, the Aces averaged nearly 86 points per contest with a pace that forces opponents into uncomfortable mismatches. At home, they've been nearly unbeatable, with an 80% win rate in Vegas across the season. The Storm's form has been more uneven. Over their last 10, they've alternated between stretches of high-powered offense led by Jewell Loyd and times where defensive rebounding issues cost them winnable games. Their offensive rating in that stretch sat around league average, but they were top 3 in assist percentage, showing their ball movement and spacing remain strengths. The challenge has been closing games on the road. Seattle dropped 6 of their last 8 away from home entering this series. That travel inconsistency looms large against a team like Las Vegas, which thrives on tempo and home court energy. Every playoff series is defined by matchups, and in Game 2, a few battles stand out. A'ja Wilson vs. Nneka Ogwumike. Wilson is the MVP frontrunner, and her ability to impact the game on both ends is unmatched. In Game 1, she dictated pace by scoring inside, drawing fouls, and forcing Seattle's defense into rotations that opened up perimeter shots for her teammates. Ogwumike, though, has the experience and defensive IQ to at least make Wilson work for her production. The question is stamina. Can Ogwumike log 30-plus high-intensity minutes while still carrying her own offensive load? Jewell Loyd vs. Jackie Young. This is arguably the swing matchup of the series. Loyd has been the Storm's go-to scorer all year, ranking among the league leaders in usage and points per game. Young, however, is one of the most versatile perimeter defenders in the WNBA, with size and lateral quickness that makes her an ideal Loyd checker. If Loyd is forced into contested mid-range jumpers instead of rhythm catch-and-shoot threes, Seattle's offense stalls quickly. Chelsea Gray vs. Skylar Diggins-Smith. Both point guards bring playmaking, but in very different ways. Gray is surgical, using pace control and her vision to create high-efficiency looks. Diggins-Smith thrives in transition and slashing to the rim. Whoever controls tempo here dictates the flow of the game. In Game 1, Gray's composure was decisive. Seattle will need Diggins-Smith to apply pressure early, attacking the Aces, guards downhill. Numbers don't tell the whole story, but advanced metrics reveal where the margins lie. The Aces ranked top 3 in offensive rating during the regular season, at around 108 points per 100 possessions, and they carried that efficiency into Game 1. Their effective field goal percentage sits above 52%, bolstered by Wilson's finishing and Kelsey Plum's perimeter shooting. Defensively, Vegas forces opponents into tough mid-range attempts, which contributes to a defensive rating around 100, among the best in the league's second half. Seattle's metrics are more volatile. Their offensive rating fluctuates from top 5 when Lloyd is hot to bottom 3 when defenses key in on her and force others to step up. Their assist-to-turnover ratio is elite, hovering around 1.8, top in the WNBA, which signals they move the ball well and avoid unforced errors. But rebounding remains their Achilles heel. They sit bottom 3 in rebound differential, a problem that surfaced in Game 1 when Vegas pulled down key second-chance boards. Pace also matters. Las Vegas thrives in games played at 80-plus possessions, while Seattle prefers the 75-possession grind. The tempo battle in Game 2 will be a clear early indicator of which team is dictating style. Depth is where the Aces typically separate themselves. Their starting lineup is star-heavy, but their bench rotation, players like Alicia Clark and Kirsten Bell, provides defensive energy and rebounding stability. In Game 1, Clark's versatility on the wing forced Seattle into smaller lineups that hurt their rebounding even more. For Seattle, the bench is a question mark. Jordan Horston's defensive upside is huge, but she's still developing consistency as a scorer. Mercedes Russell provides size, but her minutes often create spacing issues on offense. If the Storm are going to swing Game 2, they'll need a role player like Easy Magbagor to not just defend and rebound, but contribute offensively to balance Vegas's firepower. Injuries haven't heavily shaped this series yet, though Chelsea Gray's minutes management remains something to watch. If she isn't able to log heavy minutes in Game 2, it shifts more on-ball responsibility to Plum and Young, which could disrupt Vegas's spacing and flow. Both teams feature players who are evolving their roles in real time. For Seattle, Horston represents the future. Her length, athleticism, and defensive instincts are already elite, but the question is offensive growth. If she can knock down open threes and finish transition opportunities, she gives Seattle a two-way wing that changes the floor balance. On the Aces side, Kirsten Bell's development as a high-motor forward has allowed them to buy rest for Wilson without fully losing defensive edge. It's subtle contributions like these that often swing playoff series. Additionally, Jackie Young's continued expansion into a true three-level scorer gives Vegas more flexibility than in years past. She's no longer just a defender but also a reliable secondary initiator. These teams have history. During the regular season, Vegas controlled the series, winning key games by pushing tempo and exploiting Seattle's rebounding issues. In the last 5 head-to-head meetings, the Aces have averaged nearly 10 points more per game than the Storm, a telling differential that shows where the balance of power currently stands. Contextually, this series matters beyond just advancing. For Las Vegas, it's about sustaining dynasty-level dominance, cementing their place as the modern standard. For Seattle, it's about proving their post-Sue Bird era rebuild is ahead of schedule. A win in Game 2 doesn't just even the series, it signals they're a legitimate contender sooner than expected. Game 2 sets the tone for the rest of this series. If Vegas goes up 2-0, the path looks decisive. They're too experienced and too efficient to squander that type of lead. If Seattle evens things at 1-1, everything shifts, with the series going back to Climate Pledge Arena where the Storm's crowd can be a real factor. From a scouting standpoint, the Aces hold the edge. Their rebounding, offensive efficiency, and depth are simply more reliable right now. Wilson is playing at an MVP level, and the combination of Gray, Young, and Plum makes their perimeter attack balanced and difficult to scheme against. For Seattle to win Game 2, they need 3 things. Lloyd must score efficiently despite heavy defensive attention. Magbagor and Aguamica must win the rebounding battle or at least neutralize Wilson inside. The bench has to provide meaningful scoring minutes, something that didn't happen in Game 1. If those conditions aren't met, the Aces' firepower likely prevails again. Final lean. Aces win Game 2 by single digits, somewhere in the 6 to 9 point range. Seattle keeps it closer with adjustments, but Vegas's consistency, depth, and home court edge give them the advantage. That's the full breakdown for Game 2 between the Storm and the Aces. Seattle has to find answers fast, but Las Vegas continues to look like the team to beat. Who do you think takes this one? Drop your predictions in the comments. I want to hear from you. And if you're new here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Beyond the Box Score, and turn on notifications so you never miss a daily update, preview, or prediction. Until next time, keep watching the game Beyond the Box Score.